What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Jack Ramsays post-game show. Danny Marang, Brandon Sprague. Blazers win, Blazers win, Blazers win. Bettors everywhere lose, but who gives a shit? The Blazers put on a hell of a show. 114-108. Upset the Brooklyn Nets, who were favored by 8.5 tonight. Multiple people contributed. Welcome into the post-game show. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Find us wherever you get podcasts. If you're new here to the show, please subscribe here on YouTube. If you're a long time, first time, anywhere in between, we appreciate you more than you know. You know what else we appreciate here, Brandon? Anfernee motherfucking Simons.
Oh, I thought we were going to start with Ben McLemore.
No.
Okay.
On the back of the unbelievable, ridiculous, hezzy between the legs, split, up, under, around, get hit, spin around, close your eyes, throw it up off the glass, layup alone. One of the most obscene layup finishes I have ever seen.
And I had a text to make sure you didn't have a heart attack.
You and about 13 other people who have my number all text me at the same time with some version of, yo, you good? Holy shit. And it was just my phone. Just ring. I have a brand. I have this corner locked down.
You know how some people get paid to wrap their car with a company, and you get that car, you just have a wrap it. Your car is going to be wrapped in Anfernee Simons. You're like, how'd you get that car? You're like, it's the Anfernee Simons paid car.
Yeah, it is. Listen, it is good to be Anfernee Simons right now.
I feel like this podcast is going to be Jack Ramsays presented by Anfernee Simons.
I mean, just throw it in, just air horn it up. What I need to do is I need to add in the cash register, because that sound you hear is Anfernee Simons' contract locking in the floor at $20 million.
Oh, I mean, I would be stunned if it's below 20. It's also the sound of my money going into his pocket because he fucked me today. And I thought I got kind of cocky. I'm like, I'm going to win this Bama bet against Georgia. Let's go real risky here. Nets are going to blow them out. Nope. They're going to straight up lose. And Nick Saban's going to get dethroned by Kirby Smart. It was a hell of a night for my bank account.
Yeah, shout out the Bulldogs for getting it done. Nick Saban lost with a smile. It's a weird night, man. That's what it is.
It was a weird night. It's a very good way of putting it.
It was just a weird night, and this is not a victory lap for me, because I've believed in Ant for a very long time, since day one. This is more than I ever expected from him, to be honest. His level of play, that's a good starter. Like, I'm getting calls from people around the league like, this is not like a good starter. This is the kind of thing that you run an offense through. Mm-hmm. When you do what he did tonight, they look to take him away. He didn't hit his if he hits his threes tonight, they drop 130 and they walk away with this game.
Yeah.
And he stepped into a truckload of shots that he normally hits. But you know what he kept doing, Brandon? He kept shooting. Even when he wasn't hitting his threes, he got to the rim. He got to the line. He got to the paint. He hit the hezzies. He hit the pull-ups. And he kept feeding. Sets a career high in assists tonight. Got a box score 23, 11, and 6. Finishes 10 of 24. 2 of 11 from 3. So that means he's 8 of 13 from 2. When was the last time you remember Anfernee Simons taking 13 two-point attempts?
Ooh, I'd have to go back and check that.
I'm going to go off the top of my head and
say I don't know if he
never.
has. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he has. Well, I think the thing you highlighted the most, the scoring to me is not a surprise. There's nothing he does. I mean, I'm not saying his moves that he makes aren't like, ooh, but there's nothing he does where my jaw drops. Like, I can't believe he did that. To me tonight, the highlight of him was the playmaking and the distribution. They set the tone, I thought, just collectively from the get-go. The energy in the building seemed good. The group is a bunch of just randos, just playing together, dudes playing for contracts and to stay in the league. And they played together, and they just brought the energy. Ant couldn't hit his shot the way he normally can from behind the arc. But the way he distributed the basketball to get 11 assists, to set guys up, to get guys good looks when he'd penetrate and kick out. Hell, he had a couple that they didn't even shoot the basketball, and had they done it, they probably could have made it and given him more assists. So this
was a 15-16 assist night if guys are knocking shots down.
That was my biggest takeaway, was the way he was able to impact the game aside from scoring, and that was giving people the rock.
This is about as good of a development as you can find. When it comes to Anfernee Simons' game, I'm very confident in his ability to shoot the ball. That's like when we're doing the report card, you're writing A for shooting. Creation off the bounce as a shooter, you're writing A. Driving ability, you're like, well, I haven't seen a ton of it, so let me see it now. He's doubled his drives per game. Now, let's see how he does. He has a few issues, particularly with left-handed attacking and trying to split double teams. That's his thing to work on. It's not an incomplete grade. It's like a C+ or a B-. You're like, okay, that's your thing to work on. Playmaking. We've seen him pass on the standstill. Playmaking off the dribble. And it's going, it's getting a little bit more. Now the handle's getting more advanced off the pick and roll. I mean, any other vertical threat big for what was going to be Anfernee's 9th and career tying assist was a perfect, absolutely inch perfect lob over the top to Yusuf Nurkic on the dive. If that's John Collins, if that's Clint Capella, if that's DeAndre Ayton, any of these rim running bigs, that's an alley-oop dunk and you're just losing your mind. Now Nurk converts it, it's clean and everything like that. But that's the kind of pass that you expect from somebody who's a legit threat in a pick and roll, where all of a sudden you're like, oh, you're going to pick your poison now. To close out that game, that look to Ben McLemore was off the double. Kevin Durant's picking up Anfernee Simons for the final 5 minutes because they wanted to put some length on him because Kyrie was getting cooked all night on the switch. Yeah. So like, hey, we'll make you shoot over the top of this. And what did he do instead? I'm not going to shoot over the top of you. I'm going to bend and break your defense, which we talked about in the pregame. He broke the defense. He collapsed it, drew eyes, and got wide open shooter after wide open shooter.
Yep.
And that's where we go tonight. Bob Covington, hell of a game.
So I think tonight is going to be another night for you, and that's okay. We just addressed at the top of the podcast what this is about for you, right? It's Anfernee Simons and the development here. I don't mean to take anything away from Ant at all. I thought McLemore and Bob Covington.
Massive.
Massive. Honestly, without that, Ant is all alone here.
Yes. They played the real supporting roles that they lifted it up. They made guys pay for double teaming Anfernee Simons. And that has always been the problem in those playoff situations. And we're not comparing those, but the whole idea of like, we're going to take Damian Lillard out of this game. Well, if you can do that, if the guys don't make you pay. And
if Al-Farouq Amino is going to shoot 30% from three, it's not going to
Mo
matter
Harkless from corner, Evan Turner from the corner. It doesn't matter. Ben McLemore and Robert Covington, well, they go 10 of 15 from three. And that will hurt you all night long. They hit 10 of the Blazers' 15 threes. And again, they went 10 of 15. The Blazers went 15 of 38. Do the math there. Nobody else is really hitting threes.
Right.
But both those guys were incredible. I thought both might have played their best defense of the year from both of them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I thought collectively, just like the entire team, I want to be really fair about this. I thought everybody brought it. CJ had some moments where I thought he was kind of putting some good defensive pressure on. Watford had a couple possessions, one of which he pissed off KD because he hit the ball off KD. McLemore, Bob, Nurkic, like it really was a collective buy-in tonight.
The vibes
on both
were good.
sides of the on both sides of the court, man.
It was a good vibes night, and that honestly that has been there even in these last couple losses. They've had good vibes.
I will say this is not to highlight that certain people being out means that they are bad for the team in any stretch.
Just means the vibes aren't good.
Yes, it means this team got off to such a shitty start that I think when a CJ goes down, when even a Dame goes down. You know, guys like Ant go, this is my chance. I mean, this is a golden opportunity. And I think everybody else around them is recognizing and feeling the same. Ben McLemore is playing for another contract. Yusuf Nurkic is now playing for another contract. Bob Covington is playing for another contract. Nasir Little is very close to playing.
He's 1 year removed or away from being a restricted free agent.
So, like, Watford playing for a deal. Ellaby trying to save his career in the NBA, like all of these DSJ, they're just playing guys that I think largely are not going to win on a grand scale, but they're hungry and they give a shit. And when you're all out there giving a shit, good things can happen for you. And I think that's what you saw tonight.
Yeah, I think a big thing about tonight is, yes, that matters. The flip side of this, and I'm not going to go down or Danny. I'm just going to say that I thought Kyrie and KD kind of sleptwalk through this, even though they both played over 40 minutes.
Well, I don't blame them either. I was way off of what this game was. Mm-hmm. But that also just sums me up with the Blazers in general this year. Like, I couldn't have been more wrong.
It's hard to get a read on this team.
But I'm watching that first half, and I'm like, man, Blazers are playing really good. They're moving the ball. They're playing defense. But I kept looking at the score, and I'm like, Brooklyn's down 4, and KD looks like he doesn't give a shit.
They would flip a switch for just a second, and they'd be like,
and they take the lead.
Yes,
and then they would take a lead, and you go, oh, they're doing that. We're the superstars. We can win this game no matter what. And it just didn't work out for them tonight.
They couldn't get enough stops because I think the big part of this is the Blazers, and we have said this all season long, when they hit threes and they hit momentum threes especially, they can beat anyone, and they have beat anyone in the league. The problem is when they've been piling up these losses, they have struggled mightily from the three-point line. They go through these slumps where they rely on it so much, and what becomes so, I don't want to say powerful because it's the wrong word, but I'm going to use it anyways, becomes so powerful for this team is Ant isn't settling for those threes. Yeah, he took 11 or 12 threes tonight. The flip side is he got 13 twos. Yeah. He got his feet in the paint. He drove down the lane. He attacked Kyrie in pick and roll. He attacked KD in pick and roll. He attacked Patty Mills in pick and roll. And what do we talk about all pregame? Ant's dynamic playability in the pick and roll. And that is accentuated by the games that McLemore and Cov had tonight. And I thought Cov, really over the last couple games, we've talked about it a little bit, it's that he looks more like himself. He looks more comfortable. He looks like he gives a shit because he's just more involved.
I was going to say he looks like a player who's getting touches and is ecstatic about that. And he's like, great, now I'm getting shots and I'm busting my ass. It's working out well for me right now.
And everything always looks a lot better when you're knocking down shots. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, that can just put a bow on everything. But the looks Portland got tonight, they were good looks, and it was not your turn, my turn. It was, let's see what the defense is giving us.
Right.
And everybody kind of accepted, hey, when the defense is giving us this, we need to go with this. And even though Ant did force some shots tonight, he did. But here's what happens in the NBA. When you've got an apex scorer, which Ant is profiling as, you're allowed to have 3 or 4 of those a night. Especially when you're getting everybody else involved. Especially when you're spraying the ball all over the floor like Ant was. As much as we talk about like watching James Harden and how just physically painful it is, James Harden is second in the NBA in assists. You know why his teammates really don't get that frustrated? Because they see the rock a ton, even though he dominates the ball. Same thing with a guy like Luka. They still spray the ball around and they make it easier for everybody else. And that was the big thing that I thought about Anfernee Simons tonight. In the biggest opportunities, he trusted other guys to make the right plays. He sprayed it around to them. You had 3 or 4 possessions out of about the final 12 where the ball kicked around and kicked around and kicked around. And you saw one guy pass up an okay shot for a good shot. The good shot passed up for a great shot. And then McLemore lets it fly. Same thing again. Covington lets it fly. Watford gets a tip out. Nurk gets a tip out. And you know what we didn't see a ton of tonight on those offensive tip outs? Forcing it back up. The ball went back out, and they attack a scrambled defense, which goes back to the whole idea of like playing for each other.
I was going to say, what does that tell you, though? That's trust.
Yes.
That is, I could get this shot back, or, man, if I get it to my guys up top, we're going to start getting back into our stuff, and we'll swing it around, and we'll get a better look. Like, I think that's what you're seeing. Again, this is not an indicator of bad character or anything from anybody sitting out. I think it's just an indicator of a group of guys enjoying playing together, whether they win or lose, and they're largely losing, but like they're giving a damn and they're close in almost all of these games.
And honestly, I had more than a few people like text me or DM me or tweet at me. Ant's the worst take command I've ever seen. I don't think this is going to be the
They have to rest him. He's going to ruin their
He did play 38 minutes tonight. He did take 24 shots.
I'm kidding, by the way. Don't rest him.
Here's the thing. As long as Ant is playing 34 a night and getting up 18 and a half shots, if they need to pull the reins back a little bit because, and don't get it twisted, guys, they are going to struggle on this road trip. That's going to happen.
Give me the record. What's your record? 6 games.
Honestly, I think 2-4 is probably about where they end up. 1-5 wouldn't surprise me.
1-5 would be the sweet spot, but 2-4 would also.
2-4 sounds about right. Like Boston's in a really crappy spot right now. Like they are mentally beat up. They just and Orlando's just not good.
Oh, Orlando sucks. They're worse than Portland.
Here's the dumb thing: the Blazers typically do that Miami-Orlando 2-step when they go on this road trip, and you know what ends up happening? They drop both those games.
Yeah.
They regularly drop this because
they enjoy Florida.
Well, I was just saying, what time of year is it, Brandon?
Oh.
Is it winter?
It is winter.
How warm is it in Florida right now?
Well, if it's not under the ocean, it's currently 78 degrees.
Can you go like shirtless underneath in the club in Florida?
I think a lot of people go
just shirtless in general
and underwearless and shirtless. Like, I think that's what Florida really is right now.
In the past, there may or may not have been some Blazer birthdays on some Miami road trips.
Hey, I heard Omicron throws a killer party down there in the state of Florida.
Hey, it's Florida, man. It's all bets are off. Don't get it wrong.
For sure.
But
for sure.
One thing is that all of the Trailblazers, I think now, as far as the rotation guys, are all over 21. So that's always something to keep an eye on.
I was gonna say, is there anybody below? Because it would actually be pretty cruel.
Watford.
Is Watford
and
not
Greg.
21?
Watford and Greg are both under. Everybody else is.
And Greg's the one that wants to go out the most. He's like...
But here's the thing. When the Blazers beat the Hawks the other night, you and I talked about, like, these are the ones that are fun. Because you've been able to turn your brain off from being competitive every single night and like living and dying with every win. And
just enjoying what you're watching.
Yes.
You know?
And that's such a huge thing right now. And that's something I really kind of want to rally behind. I want to enjoy these moments. Because they're going to shift things, and you're going to start to see some more Greg Brown minutes, some more Trendon Watford minutes. You might see Cove dealt. You might see Nurk dealt. And that's just going to take that and tilt that scale. And these moments may become fewer and far between.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about this is you can still enjoy these little things, these little moments, these opportunities, these moments of joy to steal from Mike Richmond. This is what you're looking forward to for the rest of the season for Ant, for Nas, for Watford, for Greg Brown. And this is the kind of thing you can not be so, angsty about the record, and you can just kind of let go for a couple months and just have fun.
Well, we've talked a lot about the tanking and the approach to it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
some people have come at you and said, I don't like the tanking stuff. I get it. I do. It is what it is, though. They're doing what they're going to do. But on nights like this, I think what you see from the crowd is it's Portland's always a really smart basketball city. Doesn't mean we all agree with these same opinions. I just think it's a city that if you like basketball, you love basketball.
Yeah.
And so what I think you see tonight is you see a group of people, and I know it's not a sellout, but you see a group of people go into a game looking to have a couple drinks, take it easy on a Monday, watch Ant ball out. KD's in town. You get to boo or make COVID jokes to Kyrie, and you get to watch this young, feisty, kind of scrappy built Blazer team who most don't think are going to compete.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a night like this. It's fun. You could feel the energy of that arena, even though they had less numbers through my television. They were chanting. They were going crazy like that Ant and one through everybody through the spin cycle. And so, yes, I think it's better for them to have good draft position. But nights like this, I end up sitting on my couch and I'm like, yeah, fuck KD. Fuck the Nets.
Yeah.
Like, finish this off. Beat
this
them.
Is fun.
I was wrong. I lost $10, but whatever. Like, beat the Nets. I love that.
I'll take it every time. Two orders of business here. Somebody just said, Daniel Zirkle says Watford is 21. I forgot he is a little bit older because he
news
was
for him.
So he did turn 21 in November. I thought he was a year younger. So good for him. Poor Greg Brown.
Well, I think the good news in Miami is they don't card. You know what I mean? I think Miami literally doesn't give a crap about anything.
Yeah, and if you walk in with the right guys, I've got to tell you one of the Steve Blake Miami stories that I can't say on air over one of these times. It was pretty entertaining.
Well, I mean, you listen to musical artists and they'd be like, yeah, when I was 17, they used to let me in clubs all the time. It's like, yeah, these people don't really care.
No, it's Miami. It's that. It's the pat down guy from the GIF. Like, go on in, you know.
The old guy.
And the other thing is, you said that, you know, the arena, you could kind of feel it. I had probably a dozen people text me tonight in the arena. It's all saying the same thing. There was life in the arena. There was energy.
It's good
in the
vibes.
Yes. And that's the thing is, I think no, tell me if I'm wrong. I think the expectations of being lowered made it easier to enjoy a game, regardless of how they performed.
Oh yeah, I mean, I say this to Pac-12 football fan, Duck fan, Beaver fan, Husky fan. We suck, and we're not beating what we just watched tonight in Georgia, Bama. Like, that was an NFL game. And it's okay to say 10-2 is a good year. Winning the conference is a good thing. Like, just enjoy
getting a bowl game. Shout out Beaver fans.
Yes.
Like, it's okay to just be like, for right now, it's okay.
Yes.
I am the consummate. If you are not building towards something, you should be tearing down. And this is a moment of tearing down. And that's okay, as long as it's only a moment. I had somebody in here looking for answers, says, it's obvious the players love no Lillard and McCollum iso ball. I don't think that's the case. I genuinely don't. I think the idea of what the team was just worn on everybody.
Danny, I think, okay, so let me just interrupt real quick on that. I don't think we should be sitting here pointing fingers at 2-star players, one superstar, one, good player. I think 40 shots just became available.
Yes,
so
that's where I was going to go with this.
A little more excited about that. It's
the pecking order went whoop.
Yes.
And that's what was one of the things that we talked about as a talking point coming into this season. Was it Chauncey telling 7 different guys that they were going to get more opportunities?
It was, yeah. That was part of it.
What happens when those 40 shots become available because they were never on the table?
Chauncey gets to go. Guys, remember what I said in August?
I wasn't lying. Because, I mean, look at tonight's game.
I know.
Look at Cov 6 of 9, Nas 3 of 9,
Shot
Nurk
distribution
4
was
of 13,
good.
McLemore 6 of 11, Simons 10 of 24.
Yep.
Ellaby came in and got 8 shots.
Danny, I had to do a double take on my TV. So behind the scenes, I'm doing a lot of stuff at my house. So I got the game on in my living room. I'm getting stuff done. And I have a moment where I'm like, when we're like supposed to be cleaning or something and we're watching sports, we're just like in our living room standing in front of our TV. And I look at the screen and I go, CJ Ellaby, DSJ, Ant, Nurk, and I blanket on the last one. But like, oh, Nas. I'm like, this group is really on the court right now.
And performing well.
And they're taking it to the Brooklyn Nets who have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. This is unreal.
It was really weird. Clay Wilson says when Brown gets 5+ minutes, that means we're tanking. Right now, we're in a play-in spot, 10th seed. Don't get it twisted. This is going to be an organizational thing. One game is not changing the.
You don't want the play-in, folks. We want the draft pick.
And the organization does not want the play-in.
And they're currently in the play-in.
Again. Take a look at the standings.
I know they're only a game and a half away from being right back near the bottom of the West. So
they're about to go on a 6-game road trip from Denver to South Florida to New England to Toronto. They are going to be tired. It's 6 games.
Orlando is pitiful, bro.
Oh, they are. Let me pull this up real quick because I want to.
Orlando has 7 wins, ladies and gentlemen. 7 wins.
Yeah, they're going to make some moves here too. So they leave. The good news is they do get Tuesday, Wednesday off before they go. So they do get to take a breath before they go.
God damn it.
But then they start play on the 13th. So it's 6 games in 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than every other day.
Yeah. Not great, Bob.
So 13th, 15th, 17th, 19th, 21st, and 23rd.
And right now they would currently be 9th best odds in the lottery. They'd be about 9. If everything broke even, they'd be the 9th pick.
And then they come home and they have a day off and they play Minnesota. And then on a back-to-back, they play the Mavericks. Then they have a day off and they go on another 4-game road trip.
Well, take into account, too, who is on this team, Danny, at these points and who is not, right? If Bob Covington's gone, boom, that's a big loss. If Nurk is gone against the Wolves, boom, that's a big loss. Like, you have to take that into account, that in the next 2 weeks, you could have some movement here, and this roster is a little different.
Luke Johnson says, what happens when Ant keeps going off, though? They dial him back. Okay,
I think
fine.
that
was maybe a bridge too far. Even for me, I was like, I can't do it. Yeah. What'll happen is if
Greg Brown
that
will play with him.
That's exactly. You'll get more Trendon Watford. You'll get more CJ Ellaby. Yeah. Like, it's
because they know those things will, like, say what you want, and I don't want to be mean, but like those things will even out, right? Yes. Like CJ Ellaby won't be in everybody's kitchen every night giving you 9 to 12 points. Like, that's
this. I know we talk about CJ Ellaby in the 76ers game where he scored 15. Honestly, tonight might have been his most overall productive game.
Oh, I thought tonight was his best game.
I actually caught myself going, nah, maybe a back end of a rotation guy. Like, his last two, it is a unique jump shot, man.
It is a heave.
It's something.
What do you mean it's something? It's a goddamn heave. Like, he is at the line. He's 23 feet away, and he's like, it's a heave, and man.
Somehow he keeps knocking one down here or there.
Yeah.
If you want your answer as far as the tanking goes, you look at the bench tonight. Watford -5, Snell -7 in 6 minutes. Impressive. Snell's only stat, he did it again. 1 personal foul. No other stats.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Ellaby was a -11. Smith Jr. was a -8. So basically the bench unit struggled tonight. So if the offense wasn't so prolific from Bob Covington and Ben McLemore, which, let's be honest, if they were capable of being that guy every single night, they wouldn't be where they are right now. They're good players, but you're not getting that night in, night out.
And by the way, proper perspective here. We had a lot of fun with this game tonight.
Yes.
I genuinely mean this. I'm happy for Blazer fan. Like, watching a young player like Ant go off mixed with a McLemore Covington combination is great. Portland is 2 games away from having the 5th worst record in the league. So as much as it feels like, hey, they're 10th, I'm not putting a lot of stock into the futures here. I'm still selling the futures because they're still so close to being so close. You know what I mean? Like, you start getting near that 5-4-3 territory. Mm-hmm. You really got to lean into it at that point, because you get 3 and you have just as good odds as the Orlando Magic to go draft Jabari Smith or Paolo Banchero. Like, you have that right within your future. So, like, this is fun. I want to highlight, I'm looking at the stats. They are 2 games away from being right back to having
which is essentially winning tonight and beating Atlanta.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's exactly that.
So enjoy these, because they may not be a ton of these down the road. And I don't say that to like, oh, this team sucks. It's just the nature of the beast. Dame's going to get shut down. He's like very, 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 very likely getting surgery.
I think you should do a poll question with the Jack Ramsays Twitter page.
Okay.
Anfernee Simons, to you, untouchable or asset?
Tradable?
Or tradable. Yeah. However you want to word that. I think you should make sure you say you.
I think you should do it from your account.
I don't have access to poll questions. What do you mean?
No, just about trading Ant.
Oh, no. I can't even do it from my radio show page. Like, anything my name's attached to that specific topic's not going to end well for me.
No, it's not.
So now I know you're not going to do it, you a-hole.
Oh, no, I'll do it. I will absolutely do it just to get it's a pulse thing, man, for sure.
I'm genuinely curious where people are at on him, because I think if he keeps playing at or near this level, like, people are going to start second guessing maybe the way they feel.
Yeah, and just in the chat right now, a lot of untouchables popping up.
Because I'm telling you right now, I look at this both ways. I look at it from the Portland angle, but I also look at it from Ant. And God help me for saying what I'm about to say, but if you're an Anfernee Simons and you know you're bare minimum getting $20 million
do you want to stay here?
Do you want to stay here and come off the bench, or do you want to go to a place where you're going to start and maybe get even more shine than what you would do here? I think it's totally reasonable to start wondering these things. I know where I come in on it. But I think a lot of people are starting, as we see him play like this, Danny, change their feelings on the situation.
And this is the thing about what this next basically 40 games means for Anfernee Simons is decision makers around the league are going to see him all of a sudden be put on this table and go, this is what this guy can do. We're going to show you what he can do as a number one, not necessarily because we want to profile him as an asset, because we just want to rest Damian Lillard, and at the same time, we want to see what we have in this kid. And if everybody's looking around and they're going, and he has kind of like that Devin Booker moment of, oh shit, he's that dude. Then all of a sudden, those phone calls come around like they did 8 years ago when CJ McCollum broke out against Memphis. And remember CJ, he's untouched. It's like time is a flat circle.
Yeah.
But they're in different spots. Ant is just now 22 years old. CJ, of course, was 24, 25 at that point in time. So
I'm just going to say, and there's a lot of things at play here. Joe Cronin has got a lot of big decisions to make.
Mm-hmm.
As this is going, there's a team they're going to play on this road trip out east that has probably started to keep their eye on what's going on out here.
There's a couple of those teams that are on this Eastern Conference road trip that are absolutely keeping their eye on Anfernee Simons.
But like, there's one specifically that I'm like,
yeah,
if they're making, you know who it is. Yeah. And I think other people can pick up who I'm putting down here, but I'm just not going to say it for my own safety.
Smart man. Listen, everybody, thank you. We appreciate you. It's always nice to have a game like this where you've got a bunch of guys performing. It's an enjoyable night because more and more people come in. Help us grow the community. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Grow the channel. Grow the show. If you're new here, welcome. We appreciate you. We love you. Click subscribe. This is me actually asking you to do it because that's how we grow things here. Come be a part of the community. Become a member. Come hang out in the watch party when I don't forget, like I did tonight, to schedule the actual live stream in the feed. I blame the Nets game getting rescheduled on that. That's my bad. I'm sorry.
It was a stupid reschedule.
It was a stupid reschedule, and I was like, I totally forgot. I hit the guys up a playback, and I was like, my bad. I'm an idiot. But we will have them all for the road trip. We have Casey Holdall booked for the road trip. We have Jamie Hudson booked for the road trip. I'm trying to get Terrebonne Biggs, Team Bomb. Everybody we were supposed to have scheduled in December when I died is now going to come on the road trip. I am also going to try and talk Travis Demers into coming back or coming on one of the off days. He's in health and safety protocols right now, so he's working from home. He's got to clear before he goes on that road trip, so it might be a little bit easier to get a hold of him if he is stuck at home. But we're going to have a bunch of guests here for the road trip just to kind of change things up a little bit, have some fun, bring some folks in for the watch parties. I'm going to try and get some visiting media member and on some of these watch parties if they're not in arenas. And just kind of have fun with it. So thank you guys, every single one of you. We appreciate you. We love you. Get your questions into the mailbag. I'll post a tweet either tonight or tomorrow to kind of start gathering stuff just because of the way the schedule goes. We may end up doing like a back-to-back thing on like Wednesday, Thursday, something along those lines, or we'll just kind of bump it around and kind of figure it out from there. But get your questions in at Jacked Ramsays, jackedramsays@gmail.com, at Danny Marang on Twitter, at Brandon Sprague on Twitter. And listen, man, enjoy this. These are the fun ones. For all of those out there who always call me, Downer Danny when the season wasn't going well to start, I told you, give me something fun to talk about. I will have fun. Nights like these are fun. And so take them, enjoy the young guys, shift your mind, enjoy. We got a couple more weeks of the trade deadline. If we have any player movement pop up, we will do like an emergency show or emergency pod or something along those lines. But enjoy the next couple days off before a 6-game road trip. We'll probably pop the live show up on Wednesday, and we'll go from there. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you all so very much. For Brandon,